I think one of the highlights for me has to do with the place where we're actually meeting, because this is the Mundesley Hospital, which is about to be opened as a part of a new paradigm in Britain for dealing with people in crisis in a holistic fashion, not an anti-psychiatry fashion, but a method or a conceptual framework that brings in to care a lot of the potential of complementary therapies. And that feels like there's a lot of excitement around this as a way forward in terms of working with people who are in acute distress, what we'd call more existential crisis, I suppose, rather than major psychiatric illness. And there's a lot of really exciting ideas being put forward by the organisers of this whole complex. So I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about this place down the track.
Take a look at the Mundesley Hospital and to continue to check in to what they're doing, because they have the academy side of their work. And so it's going to be a hub for transpersonal psychologists who have been, and other forms of Buddhist psychologists, different forms of psychotherapy maybe that haven't come into relation with each other yet. And so the work of the Academy here, I think, will be a meeting point for further development in various fields of psychology.
About 15 years ago, there was a young man with a family who did indeed have a spiritual crisis. And it was had all kinds of different diagnoses. It was paranoid schizophrenia and a list of other conditions. And when he left the hospital, he was left with a prognosis of, well, here are the application forms for your benefits, because don't expect too much from your life based on your condition, because this is all you can look forward to. Now, thankfully, coming from a gene pool, which if someone says, no, you can't do that, or you have to do that, they kind of tend to do the opposite. And as a result of that, spiritual crisis 15 years ago, this is why we're now here at Mundesley Hospital. Because when Lee actually came out of that, he was saying, well, this doesn't happen for a reason. You know, I haven't just ended up here. All the time, he was saying, well, you know, there's a reason for it. And all the time he was saying, I know one day I will be here again, but in a different context. And it was going through, you know, obviously the journey and making sure that of taking care of family and focusing on that eventually one day in Lisbon, he said, well, let's kind of look around and see what's possible. We had this idea of originally there was going to be about a 9 or 10 bedroom house which could possibly look after. And then one day when I was in England, because I was living in Portugal, he said, come and have a look at this. And this is what we came to look at. And he said, well, it's just gone a little bit beyond 10 bedrooms. It's now this. And he went home to his wife, who was cooking tea, and she said, hello darling, how are you? And he said, I think I've just bought a hospital. Oh, that's nice. 2 eggs. And so the story went on. And so it's as a result of a spiritual crisis that we're actually here today, and that Mundesley Hospital, and that the vision and the hope we have for Mundesley will actually manifest here. So that's why equally we're very pleased that the Spiritual Crisis Network is the very first conference that we have here.
It's also, I actually took a little tiny piece of broken brick from the ground, because I felt that this building is a sacred space, and it's a place that has held a lot of pain and suffering. I understand it was a TB sanatorium, and it's, to me, a marker of the possibilities for transformation and the possibilities for people taking very pragmatic skills like building a building, accounting skills and business skills and medical skills and collaborating together to create something imaginative and new, which actually seems impossible, but we're all sharing the reality here.
It's really amazing. I'd like to highlight that Katie had a vision, yes? She wrote a book and she had a vision how to transform the reality as it is and as it could be when you think about people who are on the journey, who experience spiritual crises and are on the path of really getting much more of their human potential within their lives to really function better in another level, better level of their consciousness and functioning. And she had a vision, and it just happens, you know. There is a hospital is going to open in July, yes, or August, and she's going to have her own office and just lead Spiritual Crisis Network and trainings. And yeah, I think it's worth to highlight that when you really believe in something and you really believe you want to do something good for others, and everything is possible. So that's energy I'm got here, and that's the energy I'm leaving that place.